All right, so first of all, it's great to be here. This is actually my first ever live show, so it's really cool to be in a place like this. As like you saw from the screen, there was me plus Christine. So I will start this out with a small story. So Christine missed out the ferry this morning by 2 minutes. So that means I'm here all by myself, but no worries, I can handle it. So we are DOT, a legal design agency. We are based in Helsinki, Finland. Me, myself, my background is in law. I have studied in University of Helsinki, legal department, and also I have studied service design in Aalto Open University for one course. And I've been in DOT since its rebirth 1 year ago, and it has been a blast. So today's topic is what if the law was designed to be accessible for all? So my mission here for this 20 minutes is to convince you that law, A, can be designed, and B, it should be designed as well. So let's start with a question. I think you're all familiar with all the terms you face when you use the mobile phone, web application, but raise your hand if you have read the terms at least more than once or twice. How many hands? 1, 2, are you lawyers? Must be. So this is the case. Like we face these kind of pop-ups in our everyday lives. We don't read the terms, we just click accept. Even though we would give our firstborn child away, like F-Security did, they put a term that if you accept, you have to give your firstborn child or your beloved pet away by accepting. Still, 99.9% accepted it. So I think that's like the key to the actual problem that we have with law at the moment. So we think that there's a great analogy between law and service development. So if we look at the picture, we see what back-end developer sees. But as a user, because I don't know anything about coding, I don't even know if that's the right picture for this slide. No, so that tells the story. But when we look at the phone and we see the user interface, it's designed for us. We know how to use it, and it's a product of interactive projects where the user is included in the project. So let's see how law is doing on this side. So this is what lawyers see when they're drafting a document. So there's a lot of stuff, black and white, Times New Roman, Arial. There's comments like this sentence is too short. It's already, I don't know, 50 words long. And this is what the user sees. So it's exactly the same as the designer sees. So the analogy between software development and doing law is that we believe that the legal text, most of its part, it's exactly the same that code is to developers. The only difference is that if you're a developer, you don't send the raw code to the end users. But what happens with law, we do it all the time. All the users have to face complex information, and then there's this I accept button in all of those legal documents. So, fortunately, there's a new profession in the making, the legal front-end developer, or as we call it, legal designer, as I am. And what we do, our mission is to organize these huge piles of legal information and make it more customer-centric. So this is something that has been done with another products for a lifetime already. We have been in the digital world for, 20 years now, but still the legal documents look exactly the same when you go to the web pages or so on. So this is one of our examples, what we did to Estée Lauder companies Europe. So we redesigned their privacy policy. So that's how it looks like now. It's interactive, and also it has been designed with a user-centric approach. So you can really see the difference, and also it's brand toned. It looks like the company. So that's the biggest difference between I will go to the differences later on, but this is one of the biggest differences between the old school and the new way of doing law. So how does legal design differ from the normal legal business? So the traditional way of doing law, there's basically 3 steps. So the customer contacts the lawyer does the background check and does the legal documents and send it back to the customers. So there's no actually real end users involved in the project. Of course, the lawyers are really good at hearing the customers, but they have also customers. So of course, the new way of doing law might not be good for all situations, as when lawyers talk to each other, they speak the same language. But when there's an end user who doesn't know what legal text means, there's the problem. So the new way of doing law, how we do it, we collaborate with designers, service designers, graphic designers, different companies. And our work is empathy-led. It's human-centered approach. So this means that we can actually, even though my background is in law, I can actually start projects saying that I don't know anything about this subject. I can keep the beginner's mind in the project, and the customers is okay with that. Just think about the situation where a lawyer would say, I don't know anything about this subject. That would be horrible. No one wants to hear that. And the new way of doing law is also included with brand tone design, visual and interactive approach. And we are not only drafting, we are brainstorming, we are sketching, we are doing it in an iterative way. So next. Of course, we have some tools for redesigning the law. So if we start with the physical tools, we of course always start our project like real designers with pen and paper. So we use mind maps. Usually our project starts with a already ready end product. That might be a privacy policy that doesn't work. And here is actually a case, our newest project with privacy policy of 29 pages. And we first started with pen and paper. So we are drawing the wireframes and just trying to understand what's happening in the legal product. Even us, we cannot do it every time. And workshops. So this is a weird concept to lawyers when the workshop is creative. So we have noticed that when we do interactive and creative workshops to lawyers, they become a new persons. They throw out new ideas, and just look at the workspace here. This was done with the Kanye West's record deal contracts that he tweeted a year ago, and we had a blast for a 2-hour workshop. There was a lot of ideas what could be done as a visual elements, language, and other things. So it's a really powerful tool as well for lawyers. And the next, of course, I had to include our classic diamond method working method. So usually our projects start with a kickoff. We use the divergent thinking to just throw out all the ideas first and then narrow it down with the convergent thinking. And it leads to mood board of concepts. We usually give our customers 2 to 3 mood boards that they can choose on, and then we start the iterative project where we develop prototypes, interactive prototypes, of course, and it leads to the final product and feedback. And then there's the legal design outcomes, how we like to call them. So it's same thing as KPIs, so the goals of the project. And there's always feedback loop going on throughout the project. Then there is drafting 2.0. So this might be familiar to if there's any UI designers, UX designers, so using interactive creative tools like this one, Adobe XD. So if our goal is really to make the legal documents fit the digital world, we of course have to do it already in the project. We have to create interactive and beautiful prototypes. And me, myself, I'm a self-learned with Adobe XD, for example. So that's a great example for lawyers or who are not familiar with this kind of designing, that there's a YouTube full of different kind of videos. There's also different kind of courses available online. So I really recommend you to take a look on those sites. So this is always, for me at least, this is the best part of the project, as we can get to the creating the actual product a few times with different kind of creative tools, usually for mobile and web applications. And then we have the case example. This was the Christine's expertise, so I will have to take my notes, but don't mind. So we did it for the Finland Arbitration Institute. You can see the actual product. It's in use, and the feedback have been great. So if you go to the arbitration.fi, you can see on the left bar there's the FIA arbitration process, where you can see the actual product map. So arbitration is one of the most well-regarded and traditional forms of dispute resolution. At the same time, it can be really complex and somewhat difficult to understand. And this was something when FIA came to us, they said that they want to tackle this problem with using legal design. And we created a full course of 4-month project with our team. We also had Helen, another legal design office, helping us, and also the FIA team. So it's a really collaborative process if you compare it to the traditional legal work. So it was over the course of 4 months, and the process started with workshops, interviews, to identify the bottlenecks and pain points in the arbitration process. Once equipped to these insights, Helen and the FIA co-created a range of prototype solutions. Like I showed you in the Adobe XD, it's the same thing. It has been created as a working prototype, interactive, and we have done it multiple times to improve the prototype after the user testings. So the end solution was the FIA process map, as you can see it here. What is arbitration, how to start an arbitration, what happens during the arbitration proceedings, and what happens after the final decision. So there's the color codes, and it's really easy to understand. It's made by using the drop-down menus, and I recommend you to see it from your mobile phone. Is also, of course, created to be suitable with using your smartphone. And yeah, that's it for the case. And lastly, we have our 3 tips for you, made with Christine. Hey, Christine, back home watching this live stream. So first of all, there are several areas in life that are not designed. Find them. And this was something really personal to me, as I was kind of outcast in law school. I didn't find the real reason to do law. How is it now? So that's why this is really personal for me. I find the area that I want to design, and it's law, and I'm really proud to be a legal designer. And second, find allies in different fields of business. Hang out with lawyers. I'm not that bad. Hang out with me, and I also suggest you to just go around in the law offices and ask lawyers to hang around. Go for an after work or something. And third, trust the process of design. It works in so many areas in business. And like we have already shown here, and are all other cases which you can find from our website, .legal. If it works with law, it works with everything. Thank you. And also, we are launching a legal design school. We are aiming to launch it early next year, legaldesignschool.com. So join us, join the mailing list, and add me on LinkedIn, and so on and so on. Yeah, I think I'm ready with the presentation, and if there's any questions, I can ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Aku. So this room is really challenging us, right? Like people, they have to stand, and it's not a really good design.
Yeah, but it's sold out, or at least it feels like it. So.
Yes. So people are willing to stand up and listen. So we didn't get any questions in the workshop. I don't know why. I have so many. I really enjoyed your story, and I feel the same way that we need to combine different areas with design. It's not only the role of the designer to design a service or organization or life. We are like designers of our life. That means also like our work life. And I like the creativity part, that even lawyers can be creative, so you have no excuse. You can be creative too. But I wanted to ask, who was your first customer?
It's not, so I started 1 year ago, and my first project was a huge international bank with over 300,000 employees. So it's not yet a public reference, but that was straight to the deep end. Like first week, we have a huge customer, and I'm a junior legal designer. Actually, it's still reading here. Now I've been upgraded. I'm legal designer, so maybe it was because of that project. I don't know, but yeah, it was a bank. So we did some legal documents for them.
Wow, so you have like clients lining up, so you don't have to market your service.
Yeah, I don't know if you know our CEO, Antti Innanen, but he's really well known in this area. He's also founder of Dottir law firm, which has really great reputation all over the world, has been in Financial Times and so on and so forth. So I think Antti is a great salesman, just being himself. So that's how we roll.
So he's a man with a purpose.
Yes, he's the real legal design evangelist.
As we heard from Bart, that it's really important for our organization to have a purpose and a purposeful CEO, and that's the main branding for a new service. Yeah, and I wanted to also ask, what is the biggest challenge with this kind of projects so far?
Maybe dealing with the lawyers' teams, because when we are trying to redesign the information, mostly the lawyers don't want that we touch the legal text, because it comes with a purpose. But that's the whole idea, to design the legal text to be more accessible for everyone. So, and also the user testing is other side. So there has been many projects that we have had to, as a small company as well, make compromises when it comes to user testing, because I think lawyers are not used to testing their products. So that's the problem as well. So absolutely dealing with the teams who don't like fully put themselves in the project. They're like pushing the brake, and we are trying to like put the pedal to the metal, kinda. So yeah, doing the compromises, because I would love to make all the projects with the same iteration model. So.
Thank you, Aku, and we have a question here. You can use the microphone so the online people can hear you.
Thank you. Are you testing with the real customers as well? So in the bank example,
yes,
the solution what you made, what experience your customer had?
Yeah, we had user testing made in Approach, and we used other company to do it, because it was in Chinese, and I don't speak, even if I was in Taiwan for 1 year, I don't speak Mandarin. So we use another company to do it, to translate the user testing, and we are doing it in every case we can. So of course that's the whole point. If we are talking about legal design and making products for the end users, we have to involve them in a project. But of course, like I said, as a small company, if we're having a big customer and they want the whole project, but without the user testing, we just hope that they will make it later on, or we will make an impression and just continue the project to also do the user testing. So.
You can ask, I will repeat.
For example, if there's some legal agency, like advocate or something, lawyer, law agency, so what is the main pitch you do to make them think about growing their business with user experience?
So I will repeat
Oh,
for
of
the
course, yeah,
online
yeah.
users. So how do you pitch your service to the new clients? Is that correct?
Yeah. To the like law offices or
Law,
advocates
yeah.
or so on. So we usually do, like, our customers are mostly in other business areas. We have a lot of law firms also asking to do a kind of workshops with them, their lawyer teams. But mostly our customers may have a like legal department as well. But as they're in-house lawyers, they know that there's a lot of different business areas. So actually, we have not done like any legal design projects with law firms. So mostly we are just doing workshops and yeah.
There are some questions in the app as well.
Okay, but I will check the time. Let's.
Must be Christine asking something.
Yes.
How are you doing there?
It's loading.
Anyone else from the audience? There's one.
One of the questions is what is the future for legal design?
Huge, of course. Like I already told you, there's a new profession in the making, and we are trying to do our best. We are having a course, for example, in University of Helsinki next semester, and we are aiming also to that side to, I lost the word from my head, but we are trying to teach students to just to be creative and how to use these tools I showed in my presentation. And I think there will be thousands and thousands of legal designers in different law offices as well, and also the companies, because there's no point not to design the law, because it makes a great story as well. So if you redesign your privacy policy, for example, you can make it as a story. So you can put it on the paper, and we did it for you, our user, and so on, because the traditional legal documents, no one's gonna come to you and like, great job, great legal document, really good job. So that's our aim as well, to make a good stories as well out of legal products.
Okay, so we have this question. Is there any solution to those situations with terms and conditions everybody has to confirm, but no one reads them?
Yeah, so like I started the whole presentation with that example. It's really hard to find one solution for that, because it's the whole legal field that must be involved in the movement to make the terms as easy accessible as they can be. And also now the legal teams or the front-end developers, back-end developers, they're making these like buttons that it's really easy to accept as well. It's usually they're nudging the customers towards the wrong way, basically, by using different colors and usually everything is switched on like automatically, like I accept everything, so you have to click it off. So it will take time. I want to believe that there's solution, but it will take still years to come there.
Yeah, I think like with every change and with service design, you have to be patient and persistent. How are you measuring the success of your approach?
By the legal design outcomes, like I told also in the presentation. So we always do the legal design outcomes in our first kickoff with the customer, and we will of course come back to them. And there's like clear measurements, like how long the customer spent time on the privacy policy, for example. So if we put some like really easy to access shortcuts, for example, on top of the page, the customer might find it interesting that, wow, there's a shortcut to my rights in this privacy policy. And instead of the customer spending 5 seconds on the platform and just clicking accept, they're clicking the shortcut, they're spending minutes, which is already, I don't expect that you will read the whole document, but just even read your rights. But that's our job as well to do. The shortcuts has been great as well, and that's one of the measurement tools.
Okay, so usually we want like really fast like movements, but in your case it's like rather the KPI is like how long.
Yeah, that's one of the measurement tools, absolutely.
Thank you, Aku. It was a really inspiring story. I will give you a present, and you can applause. Thank you, Aku.
Yes, thank you.